Welcome back to Enamored Risks. So we're at a hospital again. As much as I'm enjoying exploring these places, I think I'll be satisfied if I never see another hospital. The first one I went to was exciting because I'd never done anything like it before. The last one was fun because I was exploring it with everyone else. This one, well, I already know what I want to do. I don't need to see the inside of this one again, but since it's such a tall building... Hey Zaina. Have you been to the roof here before? I have. Do you want to go see it? Yeah. Before you get any ideas, I was already planning on heading up to the roof, with or without you. I wouldn't think of it. So she wants to go to the roof just as much as I do. Guess we were both left wanting after our last trip. Zaina waits for me to fall into step with her, and then we set off. In no rush, just like last time. I think we both want for that to be the only thing that's the same, as we're careful not to jinx it by hurrying over there too soon. I glance at her right hand. It's covered by the sleeve of her jacket. How's your hand? Better. She lifts her hands up and pulls down her sleeve. It was hard to wrap it with my left hand, but I managed. Sure enough, the bandaging looks like it was done more than once, like she couldn't quite get it the first time. But otherwise it looks pretty good. Washing my hands is a pain, though. If it wasn't, I'd suspect you had super healing powers. Okay. Now I'm curious if the design was intentional, because I have thought this whole time that she looks like Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, kind of. And now there's mention of her having healing powers. So I'm now curious if that's intentional, or at least if they realized that that's... Anyway. How'd you know I wasn't just trying not to blow my cover? Is that what you get up to in all your spare time? Maybe. Her smile turns coy as she bumps my shoulders. Well, since you figured it out, I guess I can let you know that I'm looking for a sidekick. I hem and haw, putting on the airs of somebody who's not quite convinced by her offer. I don't know. Spandex isn't really my thing. Something in my words give her pause, and I glance at Zaina to find her studying me with her hand stroking her chin. Her examination of me is clearly exaggerated, but nonetheless, I feel my mouth grow dry at the way she looks me up and down, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I might have felt self-conscious if not for the lazy smile quirking her lips. No, I think you can pull it off. I try not to think about the way her gaze lingers, and clear my throat, jumping at the lifeline offered to me by the door to the roof. Our hands both hover at the handle, neither of us quite ready to attempt to try the door just yet. What will you do if it's locked this time, too? What will we do? Somehow, that distinction warms my heart more than I ever thought it could. And, I don't know. Definitely won't be climbing out of any windows anytime soon. It's too bad you don't have laser vision as your superpower. Right? Healing is so useless. The two of us share a laugh, and content that we'll at least have each other's company, we grasp at the handle and turn it. I hear the mechanism click. The door opens. We grin triumphantly at each other. We're probably way too happy over a door opening, but I can't bring myself to care. The cold doesn't have its usual bite when we exit to the roof, though maybe that's the joy talking. Instead, the wind that whips past is comforting, much like a mother's embrace. It caresses my cheeks, turning them apple red, and when I turn to Zaina, I marvel at the way the wind lightly tassels her hair. Good? Better. Injuring myself and waiting a couple of days might have been worth it for this view. It's an embellishment, of course, but I sort of see what she means. The twinkling lights of the city below are ordinarily no match for the stars when they're visible. But, hold on. Oh, please, I have to sneeze. No! But tonight it appears as though they're working in tandem. The shine of one matches the other, enveloping the city in a blanket of lights. And it's not just the city, either. I turn to Zaina, where the stars reflect in her eyes and the city lights illuminate her face. It's a sight that will surely stick with me, even without the use of a camera. But Zaina can't quite resist the pull, not that I blame her. I'm tempted to sneak a quick candid picture of her myself, but she's already moving before I have the chance to make up my mind, pulling a tripod out of her bag. She sets it up so fast that I blink and miss it. Yep, definitely worth it. Yeah. Though I'm talking about a different view altogether. For a few minutes, I am content to just watch, settling down on the ground while Zaina does her thing. Does her thing doesn't quite do it justice, though, because the smile that lingers on her lips as she takes pictures lights up her face in a way that no city light or star in the sky can. It's honestly breathtaking. Eventually, though, my legs begin to cramp, and I'm suddenly reminded of the fact that we are outside, and I didn't exactly dress in anticipation for it. My jacket is light and does little to prevent the chill that rises now that it's later in the evening. The adrenaline from discovering that the door to the roof was unlocked also subsides. None of this seems to deter Zaina, though, who isn't dressed much better than I am. But I'd be surprised if she feels the cold at all. Zaina? She clearly hears me, but everything else apart from her camera and the view is secondary. Could you maybe, put down the camera? Now this gets her attention. She steps from behind the tripod and fixes me with a look that I'm not quite sure what to make of. Annoyed? Curious? Contemplative, maybe. I can't exactly put it down. It's attached to my tripod. That settles my nerves a little. If she's making jokes, she must not be mad like I thought she was. Evidently, she's receptive enough to the idea to consider it. I just meant, I don't know. I'm suddenly finding everywhere and everything absolutely interesting, except, that is, her eyes. Hey, look at me when you're making a request like that. I force myself to do so, cringing when our eyes finally meet. But to my surprise, the smile that's quirking her lips is an amused one. Or it would be if it didn't turn into a smirk immediately after. You were saying? I pout, which only gets me a laugh from my troubles. She's really making me say it again. I was just saying that, it would be nice if we, were just present, in the moment, with no cameras or anything. I'm aware of how much that makes me sound like a 60-year-old, but I can't take it back now. All I can do is own it. It's difficult, too, with Zaina's gaze penetrating through my soul, but I steel myself to not look away from her anyway. I'm mostly successful. It's not like I'm on my phone or anything. That's completely different. My stomach churns and I feel a little silly for bringing it up now. I immediately backtrack. Sorry. She clicks her tongue. You didn't let me finish. I open my mouth to apologize again, but I shut it at the look Zaina shoots me. That's completely different, but I guess I can be present in the moment. Can't be too different from hanging out with my grandma, right? She grins while unattaching her camera and folding up her tripod, and I groan, convinced she'll never let me live it down. But, well, with her grinning like that, a life spent getting teased by Zaina couldn't be too bad. In fact, as she settles down beside me, an arm around my shoulder to keep us both warm, I'd say I'd be lucky to have her in my life for nearly half as long. What were you taking pictures of? I can't say I wasn't curious as to what could have kept her attention for so long. A little of this, a little of that. I pout again, and she must feel sorry for me because she decides to throw me a bone. Not before laughing first, though. Mostly constellations. They're really clear tonight. I look up. I don't know much about constellations except the Big Dipper, and I don't see that one now. I squint to see if it'd help any, but it doesn't. The stars, while visible and very pretty, are all indistinguishable to me. I was never one to stargaze anyway. My parents made sure I put my time to better use. So while I could probably name a lot of them, I was as good as lost trying to find them in the sky. You can't see them, can you? I shake my head. Probably because we don't have a telescope or binoculars. I could see them through my camera, at least. But see, that one there. Zaina traces a pattern in the sky, and I follow it with my eyes. Doesn't it look like Finn's butt? What does that even look like? Flat. Any hope I have of stifling my laughter goes out the window. My shoulders shake despite my best attempts, and when I reach out to point out something in the sky, it's difficult to keep my fingers still. That one there looks like Paxton's hat. She tilts her head and traces the pattern I pointed out with a finger. Nice. Oh, look at that one. We continue on like that for a while. It's hard to keep track of all the constellations we make up, but by the end of it, Zaina's in a good enough mood that when I ask her if she'll teach me how to take photos, she says maybe instead of refusing outright. That possibility means more than I could ever say, especially when it comes from someone like Zaina, who says no like it's a hobby. I go home that day with promises of maybes in my heart, and go to sleep with dreams of girls with stars in their eyes. Aww. These days I find myself restless during classes. My eyes wander to my watch too often for my liking, and when it's not on my wrist, it's on the door. My mind, on the other hand, wanders to starry night skies on rooftops and crumbled buildings. I go home one day and opened my notebook to find doodles in the margins, and even I had a hard time deciphering the notes that I did take. And yet, I can't bring myself to feel too bad about it. Going out with Finn, Paxton, and Zaina has been the most fun I've had in years. Worries of my overbearing parents hovering over my shoulders, watching my every move, they all simply melt away when I'm with them. Bzzz. Speak of the devil. I suppose it was too good to be true. I haven't heard from them in a while, after all. My stomach no longer drops at the thought of my parents texting me for updates, but I still brace myself as I pick up my phone. It's not my parents. Instead, it's a text from Zaina and... oh. She wants to go on a date. With me. On a date. The room suddenly feels a whole lot warmer. I stare at my phone, my mind scrambling for a response. Should I say yes? No? I haven't dated anyone since I was 14. And it wasn't another woman. I've never been with another woman. But Zaina... Sure, she's pretty rough around the edges, and sure, she really likes picking on me. But I do find myself wanting to see her smile lately. Not just her usual smirk, either, but her smile. I text her back in the affirmative, ignoring the warmth in my cheeks and the way the phone feels clammy in my hands. Maybe 2 seconds pass before Zaina replies with a bunch of heart emojis. I laugh at that. Zaina didn't seem the type to use emojis, much less heart ones. Another text follows that, with a time and a heads up that she'll be picking me up tomorrow. Tomorrow. I have a test tomorrow. My eyes drift to the textbook on my desk, but thinking of Zaina, her smile, and the way she called me cute last time we met. I'll be fine. I pass by my desk for my closet instead, intent on living up to Zaina's compliment. At least, I hope it was a compliment. You never quite know with Zaina. She can make an insult out of anything. I clutch a shirt in my palm, though I'm careful not to wrinkle it. I can't believe I actually have a date tomorrow. Zaina had said to be ready by 7, but I've been ready since 6. Nervous? Who's nervous? Not me. I stare at my phone, open to a tab of puppy pictures, hoping the cuteness would settle the butterflies in my stomach. It works for a bit until I come across a husky with Zaina's likeness. The picture psychs me out. Does it really look like her, or am I just seeing Zaina everywhere? Am I actually insane? I frantically exit the tab to my texts. Do I still have enough time to back out? Should I tell her the truth, or make up some excuse? Would an emoji be rude in this situation? Either somebody has the most dramatic car, or I'm about to get chainsawed. The sound of an engine revving snaps me out of my panic, and I look up, my mouth going dry at the sight of Zaina on a motorcycle. Oh. Motorcycle. Okay. Not chainsaw. What was that? I freeze. I hadn't meant to say that out loud. Nothing. I said nothing. No, I'm pretty sure I heard a whole lot of something. Zaina leans as close to me as she can while on her motorcycle. Her grin turns predatory. Me? Or the bike? What? Did you mean me or the bike when you said that? Zaina was somehow kind enough to not repeat what I had said. I can wait all day, you know. But not kind enough to let it go. I forced the words out of my mouth as quickly as possible. Both. I meant both. My eyes stay stubbornly fixed on the ground for some time, but at Zaina's chuckle, I peek at her hesitantly. You're cute. She pinches my nose, and though I protest, her comment warms me down to my toes. Alright, maybe all that embarrassment was worth it. Anyway, here. She tosses me a helmet and gestures behind her. Hop on. I put on the helmet and scramble behind her, looping my arms around her waist. You'll want to hold on tighter than that. Oh, propriety be damned. I hug her as tight as I can without squishing her ribs. I mutter against her shoulder. This was all a ploy for me to hug you, isn't it? You actually have a perfectly working car back at your place. I feel Zaina's laugh rather than see it. Dang, you caught me. I laugh too hard, and I laugh too, and the nerves dissipate. Ready? I nod before realizing she can't see me. Oops. Yes. Zaina sets off for the restaurant, and I'm suddenly very glad for her warning. I hold on even tighter. Yet even as the wind whips past, I feel only the warmth of Zaina's back. It soothes me. Soothes me. Comforts me. And when I smile at the view through my helmet, it's without any fear. The restaurant Zaina chose is a hole in the wall and family-owned, making our date for the evening a very private affair. It's cozy. I like it. How did you find this place? The waiter knew Zaina by name, so I assumed she's a regular. I was after an Arbex trip with the guys. We split ways and I was hungry. This place was the only thing open at 3 a.m. That's about it. Have you ever taken Finn and Paxton here? Nope. That's surprising. I feel like they're always together. Though, I guess I've only seen them in the company of each other. This is the first time I've hung out with them just one-on-one. Except for Finn, your study buddy. So does that mean you only take girls here? I couldn't resist. Wouldn't you like to know? I gave her my best puppy dog eyes, but the woman is made of steel apparently. She props her chin up with one hand and swirls pasta onto her fork with the other. Is that it? I think you can get cuter than that. The next few minutes, I try to muster up puppy dog eyes up to Zaina's standards and fail, even after using the puppy pictures I browsed through before our date for reference. Do you actually have no heart? Nah, I've just had a lot of practice. Paxton? Paxton. We return to our meals before it gets cold. It would be a shame not to. After all, I'm pretty sure Zaina took me here to share one of her favorite spots with me. Tasting the food, I can honestly say that I see why she's a regular. Once we've gotten through a portion of our dishes, Zaina slides me her phone. I take it and glance down to see a photo of the most recent site we went to. She motions for me to continue swiping. I exported the photos from my camera. Those are the ones not up on Insta yet. Pick your favorites and we'll post them up later. Zaina's eye for detail continues to amaze me. The shots look amazing. Even someone like me, who doesn't know much about photography, can tell she has a talent for it. This is a long episode. Oh man, but I don't want to cut us off in the middle of our date. Long episode time. I'm honestly surprised she isn't already going into photography. She seems to like it well enough to take the pictures for their Instagram. I don't do well in classroom settings. Huh? Did I say that out loud? Majoring in it would take the fun out of it, and I don't want to hate photography. Things are fine as they are. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you do want to do? Nope. She crosses her arms, not unhappy with the current subject of our conversation, but clearly not happy either. I figure she gets that question a lot. My dad's this big shot marketer and my mum's a housewife. Like heck am I doing either? I don't know. I think you'd make a pretty good housewife. She cracks a grin, and so do I. Glad that at least she's not taking this too seriously. This was never meant to be an interrogation. I guess cleaning up after you wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. She's only saying that to tease me. She must be. Anyway, nothing else interested me either. So here I am. What about you? Why'd you get into nursing? I probably shouldn't be my answer to such a question, but I do it anyway. I shrug. I don't know. Memorization comes easy to me and I like science. Nursing just seemed to be the natural step to take? Was it really? Or was it the natural step to take because your parents pressured you into picking nursing? I open my mouth, but no words come out. I never thought about it that way before. Okay. This is where we're going to end the episode. Bye 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 bye.